Hi everyone, it's Greg here. Hope you're well. Welcome to today's Facebook Live and also YouTube Live for the first time. I hope you're safe and well and that you're doing okay. Welcome from the team. So I've got with me Sam and Eileen. Say a quick hello, Sam and Eileen.
Hello. How you doing, everybody? Hope you're safe and well.
We will be talking to these wonderful colleagues in a second, but I just wanted to tell you that on this video today, we will be talking about our new and exciting project that we've been working on the last few weeks called Home Debate Club. And more will be revealed about Home Debate Club over the course of this webinar, and it's something that we'd love to get you involved in. The second thing is that we'd like to tell you or to ask you how we can improve it, because we're probably a week or two away from launch and we want to get your views and advice on how best to make this work for your schools and your families. Third thing is we would love to help you, or to ask a very small group of you to help test it next week. So we probably need 4 to 6 people or families or teachers next week to help test this out. So hello to everybody who's joining us. I can see a couple of hellos already from Andrea and Laurie, 2 of our fantastic member school teachers. Hi Andrea, hi Laurie, how are you guys doing? Please let us know in the comment box. Laurie is homeschooling loads of kids at the moment, so I wish her the best of luck. I hope she's doing well. And if anybody else is joining us, then please do say hello, say how you're getting on, say where you're joining us from. We'd love to hear from you. But before we start, should we just tell us let's tell everybody a little bit about who we are. So my name's Greg. I'm one of the founders at Smart School Councils. We are a charity based in London that helps schools with a fully inclusive model of student voice and pupil voice, which involves every single pupil in the school. Because we believe that everybody should be involved in democracy. We work in hundreds of schools across the UK, and I'm joined today by this one's a bit more professional than the previous ones I've done. We've got like real screens and like a bit more tech involved, and my 2 fantastic colleagues, Sam and Eileen. Do you want to say a little bit about yourselves, guys?
Yeah, hi everybody. I think many of you will know who I am. So my name's Sam Evans. I'm the head of programs for Smart School Councils. I'm substituting for Freya today, Greg's niece. I'm not going to sing a song, FYI, spoiler, unless I'm really persuaded to by my colleagues. But yeah, so have been busy working hard to make sure that democracy doesn't stop during this lockdown, and that there is a way for high quality and interactive debates for young people to access. It becomes a thing during their home learning. So yeah, really excited to be on the call today and to get to chat to everybody about what we're up to. It's really exciting. Eileen, I'll pass over to you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Eileen. I'm a university student from America, and I was studying abroad in London at the beginning of this semester before the virus escalated a little bit. But I've been interning at Smart School Councils while abroad this semester. And yeah, it's been really exciting to see the development of this project over the last few weeks, and I'm excited to be on the call and getting to be involved with the project.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sam and Eileen. It's great to see and hear you. We were on calls quite a bit with each other, but now we're sharing those with other people. We've got a few other people that have said hello. So hello to Lee, who's watching from Sweden. Wow, that's amazing. I'm really glad that you tuned in. Thank you. Helen as well. Hello, nice smiley face. And Lee, who started using Smart School Councils in Australia a few years ago. So it's amazing that we've got this international audience who also believe and share this view that democracy shouldn't stop, and also that it's not just the pupils who we expect to get involved in democracy and politics at school, but we should be trying to broaden it out to other people. We've also got a big hello from Richard at the Hart School, another one of our amazing member schools. So hello, Richard. Thank you very much for tuning in. So that's who's on the call today, and we, as I mentioned, are going to be looking at Home Debate Club. And the first thing that I'd like to show you is some sneak peek screenshots of how that's working and what it is, because it's a new thing to most of us. So let's go right into that, I think. So let me firstly explain the concept. So for most of our members, you'll understand how our class meeting tool works and how it supports democracy, class meetings in all classes or forms across the school. Obviously, that's for most pupils, if not all of them, that's not really happening at the moment. So we thought, how could we use our learning and our ability and what we've learned from working with so many schools to help families in the home or groups in the home to have a short democratic debate about what's going on in the world at the moment. We felt it's really important to engage young people with what's going on because the news is pretty scary. How do we do that in a way which is safe and guided, and also will work for those families who maybe don't have this kind of natural, they don't have a debate every day after dinner, you know, it's not a kind of natural thing. Hi Bev, nice, thanks for tuning in. So we took this idea away and we've come up with this idea called Home Debate Club. And one of the things that we've and I'm going to show that in a second, but one of the things that I think is really important for us to see is what have I done there? Oh, we've got an extra screen. Do we need that? I'll remove that. Sorry. One of the things that's really important is that we put this idea to some of the teachers that we work with and some of our friends and family, and we've managed to raise almost £8,000 to create what I'm about to show you, which is incredible and makes, I know the three of us feel very lucky to be working with so many amazing schools. That was close enough to the kind of our £12,000 target to build this thing, to push the button and to get going, because obviously we can't, if democracy isn't going to stop, we can't sit around for ages. So here we are, lots of work on Home Debate Club, and I'm going to show you what we've come up with. So let me share my screen so you can see how this will work. And I think it's really important that if you want to say something about it, stick it in the comments. If you've got a question, if you're like, this is weird, I don't understand this, how does this work, please write in the comments, because as you can see, this is a bit of a kind of test page at the moment. So please do share what you think, if you like it or not, especially if you don't like it, or if you know, because we want to hear that feedback. So Sam and Eileen, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks good. We're on the homepage.
Okay, so we've got Home Debate Club. This will be at www.homedebateclub.com. For members who use our class meeting tool, this will be entirely separate from your class meetings and how you set them up. We're trying to make this reach as many people as possible and to make sure that the kind of barriers to getting involved are as few as possible. So go to homedebateclub.com. Here's our homepage, and you would select what type of school your pupil, or your young person, the person you look after, or your daughter, your son is going to. So primary school, and there would be a really clear indication as to when the next debate is happening. And have I clicked on the right one? Yes. So and this is where we sort of see the kind of Joe Wicks style aspect of it. And sorry, Sam and Eileen, if anybody makes a comment, could you shout out, because I can't show my screen and also talk through this. So the debate will start at a particular time, let's say 2:30 on Wednesday, and you'll see this screen just like a countdown to Joe Wicks. You would see that. So Sam, would you move on to the next thing that happens? So, okay, so today we've got Rick Astley. This isn't an official part of Home Debate Club. This is a trick that someone's played on us. But essentially, this would be Sam, myself, or Eileen talking through, saying, welcome to today's Home Debate Club. Here's what you'll need: quiet space in your home, a debate partner, and a phone, tablet, or computer. Remember, this will all be accessible on just one phone, and the idea is that you'd only need one phone to be to access it for your family. So we're trying to make sure that we don't need loads and loads of tablets or loads and loads of computers so that families can access this. Okay, so on to the next one, Sam. We're probably going to see some more Rick Astley. Yeah, we're going to see a recap of the previous vote. So, for example, say last week we had debated, should Boris Johnson be treated like any other patient in hospital? And this is a bit like our class meeting tool in school. Remember, we have a recap of what happened last time, and we'll see the different results here. So on to the next one, Sam. Thank you. Okay, so now we get this week's question. Sorry, Rick Astley is really distracting. But now we get this week's question: should footballers take a pay cut? So this is going out to families, and hopefully we're going to be choosing questions that, you know, it's not just going to be interesting if you're under 10 or under 18, but you can actually get involved in and probably have a say on whatever age you are. So, okay, so we would be exploring the question. Sam, next. You're still singing?
He's going for it.
And just like in the class meeting tool, we then present with various different options. So yes, they should definitely take a pay cut. No way, no idea. Because we don't want to leave it just an open-ended debate in the home. Okay, next, Sam. And just like the class meeting tool, we then we share some rules for what we think the discussion should follow. So listening to each other, being able to persuade each other, and then the really kind of the one that you'll, if you're a member school, you would have been seeing this in your classes of groups trying to agree on one answer. Instead of it being a group of year 5s or year 13s around a table, it's going to be a family in the home. But still that sort of gentle pressure to try and encourage people to agree on one answer. Sam, so next.
There we go.
Okay, and then we have a timer. So this is where the live stream would cut away from us and it would be over to everybody in the home to discuss the question of the week: should footballers take a pay cut? How are we doing so far? Is this making sense? Am I hopefully I'm making some sense. Is there anybody commenting, Sam or Eileen?
Not yet, no. But if you want to let us know that you definitely understand what we're saying so far and you're getting the flow, the concept, then just give us a quick shout out so we know that we aren't talking to ourselves. There we go. Laurie's saying it's looking great so far. Thanks, Laurie. It's good to hear.
And what do you guys think? Should footballers take a pay cut? I mean, I definitely think they should, but I'm not a football fan, so I don't know. Eileen, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think that it would probably be a good thing to do right now.
Okay, Sam.
Just to update us, we've got lots of replies from Bev and Helen, Andrea, Richard, Susan, all saying that the concept looks good and it's very clear. That's great to hear, guys. Thank you for providing that feedback. If you want to let us know what you think on the subject as well. I'm not very objective when it comes to footballers, so I'm not a big fan. So I would say that they should take a pay cut. We've just got a question, Greg, from Andrea that's come through, which I'll let you answer. She's asked, is 1 minute enough to discuss, though it seems a bit short?
Yeah, great question. So we have the ability to change it to any time. So we had it stuck on 3 minutes, which I thought was actually quite a good amount, but I've just changed it to 1 for this, so you didn't have to listen to me for any more time than was possible. We're still getting used to these, so we can set that. So I mean, I'd be really interested to hear what you, Andrea, and anybody else thought was a good time, because I do think 1 minute's a bit short, but we do still want to make it kind of snappy. You know, we don't want it to be on for ages, basically. So if anyone's got any comments on that, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, that's great. Sorry, it's got another question then for Laurie this time. Quick question. Can they only access these lessons live, or will they be available at any time? Laurie's thinking for big families particularly, more time than 3 minutes may even be needed.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. So yeah, because I guess if you've got a big family, even 3 minutes might be not enough time to give everybody a say, and I think that's really important. So yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting, and definitely something we should think about in terms of whether you can only access them live. You can't. We're encouraging people to access them live as the main way, because we want to kind of feel like an event, and for people to feel part of something when they're doing this, which is a bit different, I guess, in some ways from what we do in schools. But as you can see here, the past sessions will also include all the previous sessions. So if you can't make the time that we're looking at, then they're all included here. So you can do them at any time. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Greg. So just a couple of the comments to catch us up on. So Susan says 3 minutes would be fine, as families wouldn't want it to drag on too long. And if they wanted to discuss longer, they can do so in family time. And Andrea, again, thanks for your comment. 5 minutes worked well for class meetings, and this is potentially a similar size group. So curiously enough, for us as a team, these are the sorts of discussions we've been having internally, but it's good to know that that we're on the right track, and we're definitely keen that the timer shouldn't be too long, I think, Greg, so that you just leave people kind of hanging about with nothing to do.
Yeah, I think that's it. We're trying to make it snappy, but yeah, we also, I think it's a really good question, Andrew, because we don't want people to feel cut off or people to be not heard in this. That's the very opposite of what we're trying to do. Cool. So thanks for these, and then basically the family would decide on an answer, and I'm going to say that my family would decide on yes, definitely, and then we would submit. And people across the nation would be submitting. So with all the hundreds of member schools who taking part, we're hoping that this is going to go out to a lot of families, and we hope that you might be able to share that with your families that you work with. And then once all the results are in, then we see a result from across the nation. So, for example, well, in this example, our Rick Astley question, we just had one vote, and that was for yes, definitely. But the idea is that we'll be able to have that really short, snappy debate, and then immediately, which is different from the class meeting tool, you would be able to see the result across the nation. And that would be able to, we would then be able to say, well, how did the debate go? What happened in your house? And encourage, a bit like now, for people to send in their comments. Uncle Gary was really difficult to persuade. He wasn't having any of it. And yeah, classic Uncle Gary. So then it would be ideally a half an hour thing that parents, carers wouldn't need anything to turn up to. The idea is that they can just put it on homedebateclub.com. They don't need any kind of gear or paper or pens even. It's really just a kind of group activity that hopefully we can guide them through. And then after that, we would be saying, well, so what? So if somebody was really interested in footballers taking a pay cut or wanted to find out more, then we would set up mission so that afterwards, here's 3 ways that you can learn more about this. It might be a podcast or an article on the BBC, but basically to help them continue that learning. And then we do the same thing again next week with a different question. So, wow. Okay, so that was quite the run through. What do you guys, Sam? Eileen, how did I do? Was that okay?
Yeah, that was good. Good run through.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Cool. I think it's good to see what it looks like in the development so far. I think the key sort of takeaways to remember are that this is an opportunity for young people in their homes to sort of lead a lesson of sorts. Even though schools aren't happening anymore, that was a big strength of the class meeting tool, and this is something that can be continued in the home through them leading their siblings, their parents, carers, grandparents, whoever it is, in this exercise. And there's going to be regular. There'll be a lot of quality interactions to discuss. We'll model through the presenting team, whether that's Greg or I or Eileen and Greg or whoever. We'll model things like sentence structures. I thought that, but this was a really good point that this person made. I disagree, but whatever. That kind of like sort of educational framing for how to interact in these in a really good way. We'll be pulling through in the language that we use whilst we're presenting, and hopefully lots of you will get a chance to see this next week.
Great. Okay. A couple of comments there. Love the idea of giving the children something they continue with after if they want to. Thanks, Laurie. Yeah, we kind of wanted to. We don't want people who are really fired up to learn about something to stop there. You know, if they do want to take it forward. So kind of signposting things to do that easily. Okay, cool. So that's the run through. We've got some questions for you. I mean, we've already put some questions out to some teachers already. Eileen, do you want to run us through the kind of questions that we've been asking? Because we'd love to hear what your thoughts are. But first, let's hear from what the kind of data we've got already.
Yeah, so from the questions that we sent out already, we've heard back from 12 schools, a mix of primary and secondary schools. For primary schools, it seems that the preferred day is either Monday or Wednesday. And we also asked what the best time of day would be to have this. And the consensus seems to be mid-morning, around 10:30 or 11 a.m. And for how frequently we should have the debates, the majority said weekly would be a good amount of time. And then we also wanted to know what the best way to engage adults in being interested in taking part would be. And some of the responses that we got back were asking the children to try and persuade their adults of their opinion, to have the schools send messages asking the adults to help support their children in working through these, making the questions topical and relevant, and using the debate questions to link with life experiences right now so that it feels relevant. And if parents are worried about screen time, this might be a good activity to kind of use up some time so it's not too much screen time for kids. And then we also wanted to see what teachers thought the best way to engage vulnerable students in the program would be. So some responses that we got were to have the topics of discussion be relevant so that they feel that they can relate to them, to make the videos simple and easily accessible so they wouldn't always require a lot of support, to be able to see how other students voted and create a sense of connection with people around the country, make it accessible over a cell phone, since most people would be able to have one of those to access the internet, to make them feel that they're in charge of this part of their learning day, and make it feel like it's their lesson to run and make it interactive. And then we asked the same questions about secondary schools. And what we heard back from secondary teachers is that the preferred day for the debates would be Wednesday, and preferred time of day would be early evening, like 4 to 6, rather than earlier in the morning, like primary schools. And again, the preferred frequency was weekly. Then we asked the same questions of what would be the best way to engage adults in these debates. And the response was that it would be good to have adults modeling how to ask meaningful questions with their children and have meaningful discussions. And then for how to engage vulnerable students at the secondary level, we heard back it's important to make it interactive, again, be able to see results from either their school or on a national level to, again, have that level of connection, give them a feeling of being in charge and running their own lesson, and maybe have some specific meetings for more disadvantaged, vulnerable students with the support of our member schools.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Eileen, for giving us that rundown. It's interesting that Wednesday seems to be the day where most people have settled on as the day where this would be most useful. I wondered if that kind of midweek kind of enrichment style activity is how this fits in. So if if anybody agrees or disagrees with Wednesday as a good time for this, then do let us know in the comments. And also the feedback came back pretty strongly, didn't it, that it was that should be weekly. And I think that it's interesting, having done our kind of daily debates on Twitter, that I think it might be. I do agree that a kind of really quality half an hour debate with really good kind of missions or follow-up stuff that they can do afterwards, and possibly maybe some clues or pre-work that could be done if they're excited about finding about the question. I think weekly is probably the way to go. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any views on that. Please do stick them in the comments or let us know afterwards. So yeah, Sam, did you have anything to add?
No, I think so there's a slight internet connection trouble, so I missed a little bit of Eileen's roundup. But I think that it's pretty clear from most teachers' perspectives how the timings will work, and I think it's interesting the differentiation between how we appeal to secondary school students and primary school students when we are anticipating that maybe secondary students are going to spend a bit more time managing their own home learning and won't be as supervised as much, and so finding the right time of day to make sure that they've got people to interact with in the home around them. I'm not sure if we have mentioned yet what we're going to try to do to encourage participation in the home is to set little challenges and sort of incentives. Have we talked about that yet, Greg?
Very briefly.
Yeah, so we might sort of set a challenge one week that says, make sure your debate includes somebody over the age of 30. Make sure, next week's challenge might be to include somebody under the age of 10. So little ways to make sure that we're making this as discursive as possible. Andrea, I've just seen your comment there about sort of modeling language and sentence starters. Yeah, so the intention is that the presenting team will verbally model those. And you're right, Greg.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if we could do something like that where we could display sentence starters along the bottom within the broadcast.
Yeah, that was going to be the other aspect of that answer, which is, so as you can see in that little sort of green banner scrolling on the bottom there, we might have a number of sort of evergreen sentence starters that will be on the screen. I think there's a balance to be struck there between doing too much on the screen that might be distracting from the debates that should be happening at that time. But these are the sorts of things we're discussing. So it's a good question.
And Richard, thanks for your comment. Again, the question was around, is it something that will continue after lockdown ends at some point during school holidays when schools are back up and running? I think we would be definitely very keen to continue this. Like, we've raised and spent money and lots of time and thought on developing this, and because we really strongly think it meets the needs of people, of children and families at home, but also we don't think it will be something that's obsolete once schools are back, because the need for families to have good constructive debates doesn't end then either. And we might be looking at how we can kind of merge the two, or help the normal class meeting tool talk to what happens with this. That's all up in the air at the moment. We're very keen to kind of get this up and running and out as widely as possible with your comments and tweaks that you're suggesting, everybody. So how that works when schools are back, we're definitely keen to do it, but we're not quite sure what it looks like. So I just looking to see if there's any other comments we haven't addressed. It looks like we have. So the final thing to look at, Sam, and I wondered if you could talk through everybody who's listening. So basically, we're going to be doing we've tested Home Debate Club out among the three of us with some quite hilarious results. But we need to do it with some teachers and families next week. So if you would be up for that, stick your name in the comment, or just say yes in the comments, and Sam's going to tell you a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, of course. So when we've got a sense of how many people want to be involved, it's looking very likely that we'll run one trial for primary age young people, then one trial for secondary age people, because young people, because they are going to be slightly different, and the way that we present will be slightly different to adhere to the sort of educational needs that they would have. And then it's going to be about sort of, as much as is possible, gathering the members of your household for a time that as many of us are available as possible to participate in a home debate club. We won't share with you too much about what the content of the question is going to be, because we have a reveal section of the, I want to call it a show, Greg, but I shouldn't, of the thing, where you'll find out more about what the question is for that week, and we'll explain and explore the nature of the debates and the arguments before you go involved. So yeah, it involves finding out the right time next week. But I mean, it looks like people like Wednesdays, so probably we should do it on Wednesday. And having the people in your home ready to get involved in a debate. And that's pretty much all you need. Everything else will be guided by our presenting team, which I presume is going to be one of the three people or two of the three people you see on your screen. Maybe even including Freya, because I've just realized there's a fourth person on the screen now.
Oh, Freya's here.
Hey.
Oh yeah. You want to say hello?
Hi.
So this is Freya, and she is 5 today, and she's going to be 6 tomorrow. Isn't that true? And she usually joins on Facebook Lives, but only now at the end, because there was one that didn't go so well, because she sang about the planets the whole time. And singing about the planets is cool, but also we need to launch Home Debate Club, don't we? So I can see, before we get into that, I can see lots of people saying they'd like to test. So we'll make a note of your names. If we don't have your email address, then do go to Smart School Councils and drop us find our email address there. Or Sam, maybe could you put our email address in the chat? Oh, 1 second.
Eileen, could you do that if that's okay? Just because my keyboard's a bit inaccessible.
So drop us an email there, or tweet us. We're very happy for you to help test Home Debate Club if you're a member or not. So do drop us a note. And thank you for all your amazing comments and questions. They're really going to help us to make something that is useful and will help families a lot. So thank you so much. That's been great, guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good. Thank you so much for your comments and for your feedback. I know that there are lots of competing interests at the moment, and lots of things that demand your time. So it's amazing you can spend some time with us to chat about Home Debate Club. So thank you.
Right, Freya, what are we going to sing about today? The planets?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right, off we go.
You can do it.
I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to start?
Mm-mm. I can start on Saturday.
On Saturday? What day is Saturday?
My birthday.
Oh, it's Freya's birthday tomorrow. She's going to be 6. And she, how many teeth have you lost this week? The Tooth Fairy has been busy this week in this house, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
So no singing today.
I mean, Eileen, you can start if you want.
Go on, Eileen.
I don't know if anyone wants to hear me sing.
Okay, no singing today, but thanks for dropping in. Okay, I think, yeah, that I wish, yeah, strange. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thanks Sam and Eileen for helping out. And we will, if anybody wants to get involved in testing, drop us a note. And yeah, we'll keep you updated. We'll probably do another one of these next week. So we'll be in touch. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye.